You're listening to Drummer Daily, the only daily podcast dedicated just to drummers, for a free video series explaining how you can become rock solid at playing drums with a click track in just 2 weeks in as little as 20 minutes per day. Visit boomclick.net. Hey there, welcome back again. I am probably going to sound out of breath. I just walked up the stairs. I think I've said this before, but sometimes I'm sure it sounds like I just ran a marathon and I'm jumping on to record a podcast. So sorry about that if that's what you're picking up. So I know that the last few episodes we've really been talking about something kind of in the weeds, deep, very specific type of here's how to get better at playing with a click with the last few episodes, and very specific. And I kind of had this thought today. I want to jump back out and kind of give you some inspiration, hopefully, for wherever you're at in drumming and hopefully improving your playing. So as I mentioned before, and you probably heard at the beginning of this episode, I've launched my boot camp, Boom Click Boot Camp, which helps drummers get better at playing with a click track. And so as part of that, it's a bit part of a business that I'm running, and so I am marketing it. So I'm putting some ads out there, trying to find drummers or people who know me, and promote it to them. Anyway, when you advertise on social media, people have the ability to leave comments on them. And don't worry, this is not a I'm going to complain about people commenting. Actually, in fact, I've gotten a lot of comments, and almost all of them have been so supportive and amazing. But I got a couple of comments that weren't really like negative. They just were kind of like, they were amused or not really interested in what was being promoted. And so it kind of got me thinking about a bunch of different things that are happening in my life right now. And I kind of wanted to kind of frame all this for you and hopefully make it something you can relate to and inspire you in your drumming. And so the first thing is this. So a couple of these comments, like one was somebody commenting on an ad, and it was like, it was obvious they weren't a drummer. They were a musician. And so I don't really know how they ended up seeing the ad, because I was trying to target this just at drummers. But they wrote like 3 or 4 sentences saying something like, oh, why am I seeing this ad? This is who would ever be bad at playing with a click track? Like all this stuff. And I'm thinking like, if you don't even understand how it's possible to be bad at playing with a click track, then you and I definitely probably won't see eye to eye on anything. Because I think that other people think that I'm good at playing with the click track, but I'm actually not that great. I think I have a lot of room to improve. So if not only someone can't see that they would have any room to improve playing with a click track, but also don't see how it's possible that anyone could be bad at it, we definitely don't have anything in common. And then someone else commented and said something else like, is this a joke? Like, there's no way you can get better at playing with a click track in a couple of weeks. That's fine. And so that's like, and I'm not like projecting anything on these people. Like, they took time out of their day to comment and say something like that. And so I know some people get bored and don't have anything else to do and they want to comment. I personally just think, man, I don't have the time to even waste. If I see something that doesn't, resonate with me, I just ignore it and move on. I don't take the time to comment. But so I want to kind of contrast that with a couple of things that have happened for me. The first thing is this: as far as getting better at playing with a click track, I've always had the approach of, well, there's a book that I read, and then there's good parts and bad parts of any kind of book. There's a business book that I read by a guy named Robert Kiyosaki. It's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And there's a lot of stuff that people don't agree with, and I probably don't agree with everything in there either. But there's one line that I remember, and it was that he said all the while he was growing up, he never said the phrase, like if he wanted to buy like a car or buy this thing or that thing, he would never say, I can't afford it. He would always say, how can I afford it? And the mindset behind that really resonated with me, and it's something I feel like I've kind of adopted or had almost my whole life, which was, you never say it can't be done. You always say, how can it be done? And I think that getting to a place where you're able to, for example, improve playing with a click track in a couple of weeks is the result of thinking, how can I do this? Not, I can't do this. When I was presented with this gig that I've mentioned before, and I had only a couple of weeks to get really good with a click track, I could have said, I can't do that. No one can get better at playing with a click track in a couple of weeks. But instead I chose the mindset of, how can I do this? And how can I get better? And I came up with something that actually worked. But I don't believe that I ever would have come up with this solution if I had not first said to myself, how can I do this? Not, I can't do this. So a couple of cool things have happened to me this week. The first thing that's really cool is something that I can't tell you about yet, but I will be able to tell you probably in the next few weeks. I'm sorry that I can't. It involves a company that is much larger than me, and I'm not allowed to talk about it. But I will tell you, it's something that as a kid, in middle school, I always dreamed about and thought that would be like the coolest thing in the world. And this is something that's actually happening to me completely out of the blue. Really amazing. So I promise you, I will tell you about that in the future, but it is something that is crazy. And the second thing that I will tell you about is something that, I'll just tell you. So yesterday the Grammy nominations came out, and it turns out that an album that I played on got nominated for a Grammy. So technically I am a Grammy nominated drummer now, and I'm not saying this to brag, and let me tell you why. The other day, my wife, yesterday when we found out, we were freaking out. I guess it's been 2 days now, freaking out about it. She said to me, did you ever, in your wildest dreams, did you ever imagine that you would be nominated for a Grammy someday? And I said, nope, no way. And she's like, why? And I said, well, that dream actually was too big. I never even had the thought that would be possible someday. And so I just want to, for me, really, this is not like my wildest dream coming true. This is like bigger than my wildest dream coming true. This is bigger than anything else I'd ever dreamed of, as far as being a drummer goes. And so I just want, but I feel like that both the other cool thing that I talked about, even the improvement with the click track or getting nominated for a Grammy, none of these things happen just because I floated around and didn't have determination and just let whatever happen to me. And they definitely, I don't think, would have happened if I had said, I can't do this. I can't make this work. I can't get that good at playing the drums. I'm still not, whatever that good is, I'm not that good at playing the drums. But if I had ever adopted the mentality of not ever being able to get there, I never would even have gotten where I am right now, which is still short of my end goal, but I'm still better than I was. And so I just want to encourage you to don't write off things in your playing. Continue to pursue whatever it is that the improvement that you're looking to get. Continue to pursue that. Continue to push towards that, and you will improve. Don't think that any dream, drumming dream or career dream or any other kind of dream is too big. Pursue those things, and you might be surprised where you end up. Because I certainly am surprised where I ended up. There's so many crazy things that have happened to me that I just can't imagine. But if I had ever said, there's a lot of things along the way. For example, when I first started playing with All Sons and Daughters, I had a full-time day job as well. And most people, when presented with the idea of, okay, let's go on a tour. I remember that the first tour we did opening for Chris Tomlin, I got called, I want to say maybe a couple of weeks before we left for that tour, and asked if I wanted to do that tour. And I had a full-time, 9-to-5 office job. And if I had just said, well, most people would say, there's no way you can't have an office job and go on tour. Well, I didn't say, no, I can't. I said, I want to find out a way to make this work. And I went into my boss and somehow magically worked it out. And I actually went on a few other tours with all sons and daughters while I had a full-time day job like that. And so, those things never would have happened if I had just adopted the mentality of those things don't happen for people. So I shouldn't ask. I should just say no to the tour because it's not going to work. I kept an open mind and chose to pursue it and did it. And just so many things that have come out of just the attitude of how can I make this happen, or how can I do this? I might have mentioned this before, but when I was young, I didn't realize that there was such a thing as a double kick drum pedal. I'd hear all these albums with these really fast kick drum, these guys playing what I found out later was a double kick drum pedal. And I thought that these guys had all worked really hard and gotten one foot to be that fast. Which I never got that fast with one foot, but I was able to get my foot speed way faster than I thought, knowing now I ever would have thought possible, if I had just thought, oh, you need a double kick drum pedal to play that fast. So not knowing about limitations and not accepting limitations and pursuing things that are bigger than you're comfortable with, can lead to amazing places. So I know this wasn't specific enough about drumming necessarily as the last few have been, but I want to keep you inspired and hope that this helps you keep pushing forward and keep working to get better. There's always room for improvement. There's so much to be done as a drummer, so much room for growth. And I really want to help you get there as well. All right, so I will talk to you again tomorrow. I hope this has been helpful, and we'll see you then. Bye.